Progress.
Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Haba. We're continuing in Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman Samach Seif Beis. Kara Kriya Shema. You're reading Shema. V'nichnas l'beis haknesses. And you enter the shul, Matzah Tzibbur shekarin Kriya Shema, and you find the Tzibbur saying Shema. Tzarech likro Siman pasuk rishon. You have to read with them the first pasuk. Shelo yeira kilu ein roitzel kava o malchus shema mem chaverav. So it doesn't look like you don't want to accept the yoke of heaven with your friends. Which sounds like, even though you're in the middle of Shema, so if you're in the middle of Shema, how could you say it looks like you don't want to be Mekabel o Malchus Shemayim? That's what I'm in the middle of doing. I'm saying V'hayim Shemayim, I'm saying V'yahavta. But the Lashon and the Mechaber is, it looks like you don't want to be Mekabel o Malchus Shemayim with your friends. To me, it sounds like as follows, and actually our tefillah shir today is amazingly about this topic. Shema is not just Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim. It's Shema Yisrael. It's Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim with the rest of the Jewish people. So the fact that you're saying Shema is irrelevant. It's not important. Very nice, you're Mekabel Malchus Shemayim. That's not the purpose of Shema. The purpose of Shema is Shema Yisrael, to gather with the Jewish people to Mekabel Malchus Shemayim. So if you're a Mil Shema, but the rest of the Tzibbur is starting Shema, and you're not saying it with them, it looks like you don't want to be Mekabel Malchus Shemayim together with them. So now the Mechaber continues. Likewise, if you're in the shul, you're saying supplications, you're saying Tehillim, Psukim, or other Psukim, you're up to a place that you could interrupt. So then you have to interrupt to say Shema. Aval imhu asik mangshin rasha lifsaik. But if, so now, I'm sorry. When the Mechaber says Kara Kriya Shema, it's talking about you already read Shema. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the guy already read Shema. I'm already yotzei the mitzvah of Shema. And now I come in on the Tzibbur saying Shema. So what do I have to say with them? I already was yotzei. No. If I don't say it with them, it looks like I don't want to be Mekabel o Malchus Shemayim together with them. Again, same point that we mentioned before. What do you mean? I was ready Mekabel o Malchus Shemayim. No, but it looks like I don't want to do it together with them. Fine. And the same din would apply if I'm doing something else that I can interrupt. However, if I am involved in a place where I can't interrupt, for example, from Baruch She'amar on, lo yafsik, you should not interrupt. But rather you should say the words that you're saying, b'shash Tzibbur oimrim, pasuk rishon, at the time that Tzibbur is saying the first pasuk, beniganat Tzibbur. So in other words, let's say the Tzibbur says, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu. Let's say they use that nigan. So then you're up to Ve'ezuz Nairoisecha Yahimeru. In other words, just make it as if you're saying the Shema. We'll see, you even cover your eyes. Shia Nirakilu Karimam. So it should look like you're saying it with them. But the way I read it originally, that cannot be la halacha. In other words, if you're in the middle of Shema, elsewhere, you would not be able to interrupt to say the pasuk of Shema with them. But you should say what you're up to in the nigun of Shema to make it seem like you're saying it with them. Okay. Says Mishna Berura, Kara Kriya Shema, v'kol shkenim lo kara adayin. Certainly, if you didn't say Shema yet, you have to say the first pasuk with them. But don't be mechavein to mekayim the mitzvah of Kriya Shema kivin she'en lo tefillin b'roisha. You're not wearing tefillin on your head. Now, the Mishna Berura is mashma, don't be mechavein latzeis. But that implies that you don't need kavana shaloy latzeis. Likewise, earlier, we're in Siman Mem Vav, Sivkatan Lamed Gimel. There, the Mishna Berura also said, don't be mechavein latzeis. That was talking about that it's good to say in the morning after Shema, Baruch Shem Kvan Mechzon Va'ed. That was going on the Shema that Ashreinu ma tov chalkeinu ma noam gar Aleinu, and there the Rama said that you should also say Baruch Shem, and your Yotzei, and he quotes the Noid Behuda and Rabbi Kiva Eger that during the week you should don't be mechavein lotzeis unless you have tefillin, because if you say Kriya Shema b'li tefillin kil made eda sheka ba'atzmai. So again, this is all mashma that as long as you're not mechavein lotzeis, you're not Yotzei. However, elsewhere the Mishna Berura implies that you need kavana shaloi lotzeis in order to be choishish for the shitais that mitzvahs ein tzrichas kavana. Reb Chaim Kanievsky says that's what the Mishna Berura means when he says you shouldn't be mechavein to be yotzei. He means have kavana not to be yotzei. Okay. The Mishna Berura continues. I'm sorry, the Mechaber continues. We finished the Mechaber to make it seem ki'ilu you're reading it with them. Mishna Berura continues, V'nirali da'afilum hu etzloi koidem berchas ha'torah. Even, let's say, you didn't say berchas ha'torah yet, you should still say the pasuk of Shema with them. Kivan she'enoi omer ha'pasuk l'shem limud. Since you're not saying the pasuk for learning, in this case you should be careful not to say more than the first pasuk. Why? Because if you say more than the first pasuk, then it looks like you're kairei b'Torah, and that you're not to do before berchas haTorah. But the first pasuk, which you're only saying so it doesn't look like that you're not being Mekabel al Malchus Shemayim, it seems like b'diavad you could get away with saying it before Berchas HaTorah. Because you're not saying it begeder Talmud Torah, you're saying it so it doesn't look like you're not being Mekabel al Malchus Shemayim. Okay. Shekoirin Kriya Shema, Sivkatan Tes. So the Tzibbur is saying Kriya Shema. V'adin shar davar shat Tzibbur oimrim. This is anything that the Tzibbur is saying. Kagain tehila leDavid. If the Tzibbur is up to Ashrei, you need to say it with them. You're in a shul, you're in a random shul, and you're learning, or you're just walking through, or you're getting a sefer, and they said Ashrei, you need to say it with them. Or Aleinu. Now let's say I'm in the middle of Psuke de Zimra. Am I allowed to say Aleinu? If I hear, I'm up to Psuke de Zimra and the Tzibbur saying Aleinu. No, you cannot say Aleinu in the middle of Psuke de Zimra, says the Reb Chaim Noah and the Minchas Yitzchak. Let's say you're finishing Shemona Esrei and the Tzibbur's up to Aleinu and you didn't say Tachnon. Said Reb Chaim Kanievsky, you don't say Aleinu. You can't be mafsik. Let's say you're in the middle of Ashrei Uval Tzion and the Tzibbur is up to Aleinu. Now what do I do? This is very common because most Tzibburs, they have an unbelievable ability to say Ashrei Uval Tzion in an amount of time that human beings are not able to say it. How do they do it? They're mamish like Malachi Asharis. It's unbelievable. Mi Kamcha Yisrael. However, the rest of the Tzibbur, so the people who say every word, they're in Ashrei. The people who say every third word, that's also a mahalach. To say every third word, they're able to keep up. But if you say every word, then you can't keep up. So what do? Do you stop Ashrei Uval Tzion to say Aleinu? Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, and this is in the Berura and the Ishay Yisrael, you do not have to say Aleinu. Next question. You daven Ashkenaz, and one time you landed in a Sfard shul, and in Ashkenaz you say Aleinu after Uval Tzion, and now in Nusach Sfard they're saying Aleinu after the Yom. Then follow the Minhag Hamakom, and that's what Rabbi Yashiv said. and Rav Shlomo Zalman. Now, what if you already said Aleinu like Minhag Ashkenaz? And now you're saying Ein Kalekeinu, and they're saying Aleinu again. Do I have to interrupt and say Aleinu again? No. However, Ben Zion Abba Shul says that a Sfardi that's davening in a Nusach Ashkenaz Shul, he should say Aleinu with the Tzibbur, and then he should say Aleinu again at the end of the davening. Oh, now what if you're in the middle of davening and you're in a place where you can't say Aleinu, you can't be mafsek? So what do? You still have to bow down by Va'anachnu Kayim. In other words, you rolled in, you're now up to Baruch She'amar, and they're up to Aleinu. You came a little late, you thought they changed the clock or something. So even though you can't say Aleinu, you bow down. So it doesn't look like you're a koifer. Reb Chaim Kanievsky says you don't have to bow down. Because it's not like everyone in the Tzibbur is bowing down at the exact same time.
Is this only if you're davening at that minyan? What if it's a separate minyan?
You're in a different room, like you overhear them, or you're learning?
Yeah, I'm at the edge, or I'm davening with another minyan, walking to this room. Or something like that happens. There's overlap sometimes.
Mm-hmm. What happened? The guy got a shade took him over and took his body into a different room? Whatever, he's walking.
I know you shouldn't be walking around, but...
the guy's, he's draying around.
For emergency.
Yeah, he would have to. Yeah. Okay, there are just a few more points, yeah? What about Shema Yisrael in Musaf? Does that also have the din that wherever you're up to, you need to say the Shema? Rabbi Yashiv says it's Bechlal Pasuk Rishon of Kriya Shema. You have to answer with the Tzibbur. Aruch HaShulchan is also mashma that way. What about Shema Yisrael when they take out the Sefer Torah? Rabbi Yashiv says you should say with the Tzibbur. What about? Okay. However, Reb Chaim Kanievsky says, if you're not davening Musa with the Tzibbur, you don't have to say Shema Yisrael. And you don't have to say Shema Yisrael at the time they take out the Sefer Torah. What about when the Tzibbur is saying Shema after the Zman, like in America? You come to a shul on Shabbos, and the Tzibbur is saying Shema. They're not being Mekayim in the mitzvah of Shema. The mitzvah already passed. They're just, why are they saying it? To daven Shemona Esrei Torah Devei Torah. You are not obligated to answer Shema with them. Why? Because they're not being Mekabel al Malchus Shamayim. There's no Kabbalah al Malchus Shamayim. If you don't get the mitzvah, there's no Kabbalah al Malchus Shamayim, and you're not subject to answer with them. What a chiddush. Who says that? Rabbi Zion Abba Shaul. Nobody argues. Okay, weiter. Isn't that's a wow? That's a whopper of a chiddush. In other words, by the way, I mamish had the shaila the other day. This happens all the time. It takes me longer to say Shema because you have to have kavana to mekabel the mitzvah Shema and have kavana to mekabel Malchus Shamayim. So I know Friday night we're saying Shema before this man. I definitely don't have to think that I'm mechavein to mekabel the mitzvah Shema because I'm not getting the mitzvah Shema. But do I have to have kavana that I'm mechavein to accept the yoke of heaven? L'chayra, we just see from this psak that you do not have to think that. Because if a tzibur saying Shema Shaloi Bizmanoi is not considered Kabbalah Sa'ol Malchus Shamayim, and therefore somebody who hears it doesn't have to stop and say along with them, that means when you're saying Shema Shaloi Bizmanoi, you're not being Mekabel Malchus, you don't have to have that kavanah. No, that would be, that's what it would come out. I was wondering about that.
There's no kavanah to have it. It's supposed to be touched Divrei Torah.
Exactly. There's nothing to think. In other words, when you say Shema in shul, both Friday night and Shabbos morning, where you're not getting the mitzvah either time, you don't have to think anything. You don't. Look, does that mean I don't have to think Adoin Koil Hoya Hoy V'Viyah, and I don't have to think 1 in the 7 Rakia? Meaning all the kavanas that we learned, are they not noigeya? By the way, I would say not so pashut. Because l'maisa, it's not like you're for sure not saying Kriya Shema Bizmanoi. It is bein hashmashos. Of course, I'm mechuyev to say it later, misafek, but it doesn't mean the original Shema is nothing. It's also a maybe, you know. Fine. Now, so all these things, by the way, of Ashrei, Aleinu, Karmeh, it's derech eretz. All these things are derech eretz. Aleinu, and it sounds like Shema. I don't know. Aleinu and Ashrei are derech eretz. The Dirshu brings there, Moshe says, to say Kedusha with the Tzibbur is not derech eretz. It's me'ikar hadin. Kriya Shema, the Rabbi Moshe says only derech eretz. Kedusha is me'ikar hadin. And Rabbi Moshe says the chidush, the chiluk is Kriya Shema. You're mechuyev to say twice a day and not more. So the chiyuv to say with the tzibur is derech eretz, so it doesn't look like you're not being mekabel mach shemayim. Masha'en kein amiras kedusha, which is l'kadeshim shemayim at tzibur, that's a chayva even 100 times a day. What about, sorry, this is a lot of amazing halachas here. What about yud gimel midos harachmim at tzibur? Rav Moshe says there is no chiyuv to say Yud Gimel Midas Harachmim with the tzibur. Why? What's the reason for Krishna? It looks like you're Mekabel Machar. It looks like you don't want to be Mekabel Machar Shemayim. The Yud Gimel Midas is a tefillah that Hashem should be merachim on us. We're not praising Him like Kedusha. Mistaber that you don't have to say. And if you're not davening with the tzibur, you do not have to say with them. The minhag ha'olam is to say it. Why? Because the more people who answer, the greater the Rachamei Shamayim is. But you're not mechuyev to say Yud Gimel Midas Emat Tzibur. It almost sounds like it's not even Aleinu. You have to say. I'll tell you the truth. I didn't realize Ashrei. I've seen many times Aleinu. I never noticed Ashrei. I didn't know. In other words, I'm learning in a shul. They're davening mincha. I didn't know. I didn't know that I would have to say Ashrei with them. Does that mean the whole Ashrei? By Aleinu, you have to say the whole Aleinu, not just the words Aleinu Shabeach. You have to say Aleinu. I didn't know you have to say Ashrei. I mean, I would ask, even the Tzibbur doesn't have to say Ashrei. By Mincha, let's say. By Mincha, it's only, it's only to be oimed mitfila mitoch divrei Torah. But I'm not davening. No, derech eretz, you should say Ashrei. Interesting.
You say Aleinu with the tzibur, you have to say Ba'al Kain Nekabo also?
It's a good question. He doesn't say, I don't know. I assume Al Kain also. Okay, let's finish up. Sivkata and Yud, Pasuk Rishon, V'gam Baruch Shem K'ven Mochzai Lam V'ad. V'das HaGra B'Beirur Shetzach Likro Shemam Kol Kriya Shema. The Gra says, you have to say the whole Shema. Now the Mishna Berura already said before, if you didn't say Berachas HaTorah, you definitely can't say the whole thing. Amnam, but Psukkah the Zimra Nira de Ein Lahachmar Yosef Pasuk Rishon. Psukkah the Zimra shouldn't be machmar more than the first pasuk. What about Baruch Shem Imel Psukkah the Zimra, the Matei Ephraim, the Shevet HaLevi, the Shain Halacha says yes. Says the Mishna Berura, the Belav Hachi Dasa Mechaber Lahachmar Psukkah the Zimra Kil Kamei. Because even the Mechaber himself is machmer even by Shema, by Psukei de Zimra. One more. Kagoin Baruch Sha'amar ve'elach. For example, let's say you're up to Baruch Sha'amar and on. Lo yafsik el yomar teva shu'am b'shah. In other words, if you look in the Mechaber says if you're mil Psukei de Zimra, you should not say Shema at all. Which is interesting. I would have thought that's a halacha. If you're mil Psukei de Zimra, you shouldn't say Shema at all. But the Mishna Berura says you do say the first pasuk of Shema. The Mechaber himself says not to. Here, v'achroinim kasel b'chas Baruch Shema v'yishtach Psukei de Zimra yev lahavsek kedei lekabel malchus Shemayim emat tzibur. The Mishna Berura says the achroinim argue on the Mechaber, and they say in Baruch Sha'amar yishtabach Psukei de Zimra you should be mafsik to mekabel malchus Shemayim. By the way, we saw that this is a pella. That means like this. The Shema of Musaf, you have to say along. The Shema of Haitzah Sefer Torah, you have to say along. A Shema of Kriya Shema Shaloi Bizmanoi, you don't have to say along. You hear this? That means when you're saying Shema Shaloi Bizmanoi, it's even less than Kriya Shema by Musaf and by Haitzah Sefer Torah. Says, so again, the Mishna Berura points out that the Achroinim argue on the Mechaber, and that you should say Shema M'sugat Zera, Aval Bebracha Shal Kriya Shema, but in Berchas Kriya Shema V'chein Bein HaPrakim, or Bein HaPrakim and Berchas Kriya Shema, Lo Yafsik Klal Elo Yomer Oisan HaTevois B'nigun, you should say those words with a tune, K'may Tzibbur Oimrim Kriya Shema, the way that Tzibbur says Kriya Shema. Do you need to put your hands on your eyes? It's in the Shal Shechubas, Rivam Shnaitoch, the Kaf HaChaim, Reb Chaim Kanievsky. Yes, you should cover your eyes. What about your tzitzis? You should hold your tzitzis in between your fingers like the Tzibbur. Oh no, sorry, no. The Eish Avram says you don't have to. Because it doesn't have to look like you're saying the whole Shema, only the first part. No, you do not have to. Don't have to hold your tzitzis in between. Okay, Kriya Shema. One more mechaber. I'm sorry. Kara Kriya Shema. Let's say you said Shema v'nichnas b'beis knesses u'matzah tzibur shekar Kriya Shema. Tzoiv sheyikra imam kol Kriya Shema. It's a good idea to say the whole Shema with them. V'yikabel sachar kekar b'tar, and you'll be rewarded as if you're reading the Torah. Haga aval einoy chayiv rak b'pasuk rishayin. But you're only mechuyev in the first pasuk k'may shenizbar, like we explained. Okay.
What about that Cephas by the Phyllis, when that Phyllis, and everyone says they call Kabbalah so much mind, they say Shema Yisrael, but the same. So you have to say along.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that's not gonna be any worse than the Kriya Shema of Haitzah Sefer Torah by Musaf. But I think the big chiddush here is the Kriya Shema that said Shaloi Bizmanoi does not have a din of Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim. Okay, Rabbi said we'll pick it up Monday in Siman Samach Vav. Thanks for joining today. Appreciate it. Okay, have a good Shabbos, everyone. Thanks a lot. Kol Tov. Kol Tov.